All right. Welcome to Sideboard MTG. My name's Eric, and today we're going to be playing another of Dev's deck. This one is another tribal deck. This is Green White Cats, a deck that Dev has actually put out for us a few times since Amonkhet. And he's upgraded quite a few times, and he's made it no secret that this is one of his favorite tribes in since Amonkhet. Maybe since Hour of Devastation, since we actually got all the pieces. But Dev has always been a fan of the cats, and he's got quite a few cats. He's known as the guy on the couch with the cats, the one who likes MTG. Either way, if you do want to see the full deck tech, check out Dev. There's a link up in the description box above. Whoa. What happened? Did we switch? We switched. Yay. What's up, guys? How's everyone doing? If you want to check out Dev's deck tech, it's going to be right up there. I am going to go over the cards, a few of the interactions, things like that. Kind of going over the curve more than anything. And then we're going to jump into some gameplay. Remember, if you like this cat's deck, you want to see more of Dev's decks, things like that, make sure you hit that like button, smash that like button, give us some thumbs up, let other people know that, hey, check out this deck, the deck's pretty cool, that sort of thing. So cats, it's been on our radar for a long time. If you have played Magic Online, if you've played at a fairly diverse FNM, or maybe even not a diverse FNM, people are playing this deck. People like the cats deck. And honestly, it actually has a really powerful curve and can absolutely take over with the game. And I'm just going to start out here with Ajani's Pridemate. And if you guys remember Long Tusk Cub, getting one counter per turn, just taking over a game. They didn't have a fatal push. It didn't take long. All of a sudden, it was out of burn range. Long Tusk Cub would just take over a game. Well, with this deck, you have the opportunity to put a lot more 1/1 counters on it than you can with even a Long Tusk Cub. So, this Ajani's Pridemate is no joke. It's been around in the past. We've seen this card. I knew that when it got printed that we would see some type of play in it. It's great in lifelink decks, and this deck is has no weakness with lifelink. We have a ton of ways to create life or life gain to trigger our Ajani's Pridemate. And, some of those start with just our turn one roadblock. Everyone knows this card is a roadblock. You just put it out there in front of them, you let it chump, whatever. The Goblin Chain Whirler, they kill it, you bring it back. 1 mana, bring it back. It's an absolutely terrific cost creature. It's a good 1-drop. The 1/1 lifelink, you get to put another mana into it later to get that body back. If you get some of your Anthems, you're no longer a 1/1. And man, this thing just keeps on rolling, giving you action out of the graveyard. Love Sacred Cat. Probably not enough good things to say about it, but that's about all we're going to cover here. Now, other 1-drops that can actually trigger Ajani's Pridemate or the Leonin Vanguard. My wife made a joke about this deck. Pretty much anything that's got anything to do with Ajani, throw it in the deck, you've got a good deck. The Leonin tribe here is absolutely terrific. Leonin Vanguard says that at the beginning of your combat on your turn, if you control 3 or more creatures, Leonin Vanguard gets +1/+1 until end of turn, and you gain 1 life. Bam, triggered Ajani, Ajani's Pridemate even before we got into combat, right? So, you've got a lot of really cool interactions. Those start out really, really early. You could technically get this thing online by turn 2, just by playing like a Sacred Cat on turn 2 and then maybe another Vanguard or double Sacred Cat or something like that. It is possible. We've got 8 1-drops. There's a chance that we could have 3 in our hand. The other 2-drop here is Adorned Pouncer. I love this card. It's a lot of value. When you start bringing it back, you get a 4/4 cat that's also a zombie. It's a black zombie cat. Come on. You know you love that. Anyway, you can bring it back. It's a black zombie cat with double strike. Your Anthems start going off. You get, your 5/5 double strikers. You got a 6/6 double striker with lifelink. Oh my goodness, it can just get out of hand. Speaking of getting out of hand and going wide, we actually had a nice engine right here in our cats. This is both a beater to just finish the game off, and it's also just an absolute powerhouse at producing a lot of cats. One of the things I like the most about Pride Sovereign is the fact that That is not a sorcery ability. You can use this after you've declared blocks to produce 2 more cats, which will make him get an extra +1/1 for each other cat you control. So you can instantly just pay 1 and tap him after blocks to give him a +2/+2 boost. Come on. I mean, they got to have the kill on hand to be able to stop this. Really, really good card. Takes over with the game. Or takes over with the game. Is that right? Takes over the game. How's that? Anyway, Pride Sovereign, great. One moment, guys. Let me clear my throat here. Good old coffee. Gotta love it. All right, so let's talk about some of those anthems we're using here. The first one's going to be, you know, Radiant Destiny. This can come down as early as turn 3, giving all of your early dudes just an instant +1. Once you finally get to the point where you have the City's Blessing, and it's going to happen, guys. Like you don't need a lot in this deck to actually go wide enough to get the City's Blessing. Radiant Destiny, by the time you get to five lands, if you have Radiant Destiny, you play something like a Regal Caracal, you're only 1 other cat away from actually having your City's Blessing, which is going to make your creatures vigilant. Once you start getting vigilant, lifelink, +1 or +2/+2 cats, things get out of hand really, really quick. One of the things that I do want to let people know about that doesn't seem like a lot of people actually do is you can block with all of your lifelinkers. A lot of times you'll see people, just stick 1 or 2 lifelinkers in front of a small attack or something like that. When a lot of times you could actually just stick all of your lifelinkers. Even if you need to overblock, there's no real reason to, or anything like that. You can just actually overblock. All of your creatures will hit. You gain even more life that way. So I do see a lot of people, especially online, not using that. But I think that that's something that people need to think about. After you get your City's Blessing, though, you're not going to have to tap except for your Brumus triggers, or sorry, Leonin War Leader triggers. If some of you remember Brumus, was it King of the Pride or something like that? He had almost the same effect. When he attacks, you're going to create 2/1/1 white cat creature tokens with lifelink. They're going to be tapped and attacking. After they tap and attack, if they survive through that, when they untap, if you have that City's Blessing, they'll never tap again. You just keep swinging with him. You might be able to get to the point where you're swinging with him. He's not tapping, of course, but those other creatures are coming in. Brimaz, yeah, there we go. Yeah, Brimaz was very close to Leonin War Leader. I think Brimaz also produced some dudes when you were blocking or something like that. So he was a pretty good card too. Grixis #1 now. Grixis no one now. What is it? No one or #1 there, James? Let's get some shout outs in here. We went over the main board. I guess we got to cover the big cat real quick, right? Ajani, adversary of tyrants. Tyrants. We got to do the Sean Connery on them. A fight against our old adversary, right? That's horrible. That was a horrible impression of Sean Connery. Hunt for Red October, come on. Anyway, Johnny's great. Putting +1/1 counters on our cats. They already have lifelink. Being able to return a converted mana cost 2 or less from our graveyard to our hand, or graveyard to the battlefield. Getting back those pride mates, things like that. It's going to be absolutely terrific. Ajani, whether we're upticking him or downticking, it's going to be awesome. His ultimate 3/1/1 lifelink cats every turn. It's going to get out of hand. It's going to get out of hand. The one thing that this deck is very weak to is flying. I definitely believe that the deck needs a little assistance with flying. The only real answer we really have is Thopter Arrest. If we look at the sideboard, we have a couple other things in the sideboard that can, well, there we go. What happened there? What happened? We've got a couple other things in the sideboard that can help a little bit, but not a lot. I mean, we've got Authority of the Consuls that can help slow things down. We've got Settle the Wreckage, a couple copies of Settle the Wreckage here to just stop them when they go to swing in over our heads. We can just settle their flyers, that sort of thing. 4 copies of Reclamation Sage because, having answers to artifacts is a thing. And then Prowling Serpentard because, you know, when we don't want to be countered, we don't want to be countered. I personally think this deck probably could have gotten away with 3 copies of Prowling Serpentard, but the deck's actually not extremely heavy on green, and I can see that. Also, you know, I think that the deck may or may not need a copy or 2 of Shala in the deck. I think that she would fit really well, give you an extra late game mana sink, things like that. One of the things that the Cats deck is a little bit weak on is having things to just, you know, sink your mana into late game. I also think that you know, cards like Lifecrafter's Bestiary and things like that are absolutely terrific in, you know, these decks that have, you know, 20 plus creatures in them. This has almost 30 creatures in it, so Lifecrafter's Bestiary would be at its all-time best right here. And honestly, you know, having a good draw engine might be better than having Heroic Intervention for, you know, board wipes and things like that. Just being able to refill your hand and refill the board might be all that you need. Now, we do have some ways at getting some cards here. We've got Ajani Unyielding here, just another copy of Ajani. This is a 6-mana Ajani. But his +2 is really relevant. We get to reveal the top 3 cards of our library, put all non-land permanents revealed this way into our hand, and the rest on the bottom of our library. So, I mean, we get to, like, look, pretty much everything's like a permanent. If it's not a land, it's probably going to be a permanent. So we're just going to, like, put some cards in our hand, which will help refill. That's a +2. It makes it really hard to deal with, especially when they got to get through our cats and things like that. So, have we played the Bolas deck yet? Actually, I don't think I've actually played Grixis on the stream. I put out my deck tech of Grixis, but I don't know if I actually put it on stream. So, what's up, Rush? Haven't played it yet. Remember, I only play once a week. Speaking of which, if any of you need beta keys, if you guys want to get into the closed beta, which apparently is just not closed anymore. I mean, it's still called the closed beta, but I can't give away, you know, these 10 keys that I have. Everyone I know, and I stream to a lot of people, seem to have it or have access to it. So yeah. I'm denying my roots. What do you mean? Oh, right, by not playing Grixis. You're right, Jareth. What's up, Chris? How you doing? The 3-color deck you enjoyed playing was Mardu Vehicles. I actually really did like Mardu a lot. Mardu's a great color pie, or section of the pie. It's pretty cool. Or wedge. Is Mardu a wedge? Shard? Mardu a shard? I don't know. One of you guys that know a lot more about the color, the lore of the colors, can tell me, but I know it's a clan. Clan of Tarkir, right? Anyway, what's up, Chris? How are you? How are you, Rocker? You only have 1 key left. Okay, so you've given most of yours away. Justin Clay says, Teamer right here. Big Teamer fan. Gotcha. Jared Garrett, what's up, sir? Quality looks. Thanks. I assume that we're talking about the stash. We'll go with it anyway. You know, I'll just take it. Anyway, Aiden, how you doing, sir? Good mana sinks seem legit. Wonder if there's an artifact or something. I like Shala as a mana sink here. I think Shala, or maybe even if you could find room for it, you could probably squeeze in a Walking Ballista or 2. I do think that the deck needs some type of late game mana sink, even if it's just something like a Vanquisher's Banner or a Lifecrafter's Bestiary. Something to just keep giving you cards so that you can keep playing out your hand every turn. Putting more and more threats on the battlefield seem really, really good to me. So, James, how you doing, sir? We got James here. We've got Rush. Let's see who else we've got. Jareth Miles, of course. I've said hi to you, sir. Aiden, Travis, what's up, sir? Are you the bad guy? And are you the bad guy in Wild Wild West? No, I'm not in a wheelchair. But yeah, I could be the bad guy. We could be the bad guy. Justin Clay, how's it going? Who else we've got up here? I know we got some people. Brandon Hall, how you doing, sir? I like your deck, Brandon. Brandon sent me a deck list that it's actually a Teferi deck that uses Suncrested Mare. Apparently he's doing really well with that on Arena. The deck looks really sweet, and I just never thought about Sunmare being in a deck that only really used like one card for the life gain. The Fountain of Renewal seems to be really good. Could probably even work really well with Ajani's Pridemate. But anyway, I think there was like a Jared B up there I forgot to say hi to. For the Horde, how's it going, sir? Guys, that's going to do it for my deck tech, my shout outs, things like that. We're going to jump into some gameplay, right? Let's maybe I should leave. I'll leave that. We'll go to the queues. This deck feels like it's going to be decent. I'm worried about flyers, but the deck feels like it's going to be decent. And the last Devs deck went 3-0 in the queues. You know, the elves were sweet. Oh my goodness, elves were sweet. Let's get that where we need it. Bam. We would love to play first. Let's tell our opponent good luck. Good luck, have fun. Scattergrove, Sunpetal Grove, Forest, Radiant Destiny. We don't have any good 2-drops. I mean, we could start putting out our Radiant Destiny on 3 and then like follow that up with Leonin War Leader. I mean, the hand's not horrible. We got one of our few pieces of removal. It's not horrible. I'll keep. Like, it may not be fast enough, but the deck's not like super fast anyway. It's like it's one of those decks that just keeps going on. The later the game gets, the more powerful your board state usually gets. And you here just sub. Well, Paulo, thank you. Paulo? Is it Paulo? Paulo David? David, thank you for subscribing, sir. Ooh, we got a 2-drop. It's not actually the 2-drop we want to see. Like, this just feels like we're just trying to buy a card out of his hand when we play this. I mean, putting out a 2-drop's not bad, but Glint Sleeve Siphoner. So we're not actually worried about Glint Sleeve drawing a card this turn. I would like to just go ahead and, actually, if we play this, it may be enough of a threat that he has to play Burn. Like, I don't think he trades Glint Sleeve Siphoner for Ajani's Pridemate here, but he might. I'm willing to make the trade. Oh, alright, so then he's got like Magma Spray that he wants to use on the Pride Sovereign. Is that what we're looking at? Harness Lightning, okay. Well, we're getting through a few cards. Alright, so I'm going to Pridemate. We do need another creature off the top that's castable. Having 3 creatures here to be able to swing with the Pridemate, get the Pridemates, to growing would be awesome. Land off the top allows us to play the Leonin War Leader. So, I mean, okay, yeah, he's got to just keep playing kill spells here. Yeah, the land would have been super, super sweet. At least we get to put him on using his Vraska's Contempt here. Like, he has to start burning out the Vraska's Contempts now, and then from that point, hopefully we can just keep drawing into action. And all right, so do we Radiant Destiny and go that route? I think so. I mean, the other gives us a +1 and an attack, but this will give us +1 anyway. So either one's going to give us +1 to our combat here. Okay, so he's going to commit. I think Blossoming Defense would fit in this deck pretty well. What's up, Roman Klein? How you doing? You're watching the bloodthirstiest shoot 'em firstiest, doggone worstiest MTG player on YouTube, and he's awesome. Well, who's that feller? Might be me. It might be me. You might have me here. Well, it's not horrible. I mean, he's got to answer stuff, right? I mean, is this no Gear Hulk? I mean, we'll see. If he's got Gear Hulk, bam. Like, he'll just eat this. I assume he Harness Lightnings, yeah. And then just eats the cat. Yeah, not a lot I can do about that. Okay, so Champion of Wits is decent for him here. It's going to give him some more action. I'm kind of debating on whether or not I actually Thopter arrest this Gear Hulk, or do I wait for something else? I would love a land off the top, but we know we're not getting that. I'm trying to hold this Pouncer so that I have something else to throw away when he plays like Nicol Bolas or something. This is going to be a Vraska's Contempt. It is. Yeah, this is going to be a little bit hard to beat. Even when I played Grixis, Grixis normally did well versus these cat stacks. Unless you just have a really good hand where you can place multiple creatures per turn, which is kind of how you need to beat Grixis. You're liking what you're seeing from the Commander spoilers so far? Yeah, the Black Panther. And I say that because the art looks like the comic book hero Black Panther or whatever, but so I think we have to get this down. Prey doesn't have an answer for it. I mean, it's just chump blocking. There's the Nicol Bolas. Yeah, so I mean, we have to chump this turn. Yeah, we're dead. So dead. Okay. Okay. Authority's probably not bad. I mean, he actually has a lot of creatures. Since we're not going to be able to kill them, Regal Caracle's really good. I don't think Pride Sovereign's that great in this matchup because he's just going to kill it. I want like a lot more creatures. Radiant Destiny's absolutely terrific in the matchup, but I'm also not going to run. I'm just going to trim back on a couple of the things to make room for the authorities. Other cards that may be worth playing here might be Heroic Intervention or Prowling Serpapard. I'm not 100% sure on even playing Prowling Serpapard, but Heroic Intervention would give us some way to protect our creatures. So it could be interesting to actually put this in and protect against like Vraska's Contempt and things like that, because the Grixis stack's plan is to 1-for-1 kill everything, so we have to just basically keep putting out cats to stop the opponent. Do we bring in the Settles? Is that going to be one of our few ways? I don't think we can take Thopter Arrest out. I don't think we take any of our 2s out. Maybe a War Leader. But I don't, honestly, I don't think we take out the War Leader either. Is it just Authority to give us more growth? Like, we just want to have more ways to grow our Pride Mate so that it's just more likely that it gets out of control. You don't like Authority here. I mean, I'll take it out, but what are we bringing in for it? Just Prowling Serpapard and Heroic Intervention? Settle the Wreckage? Just don't sideboard at all? I mean, because I want to outgrow the burn. Like if you can get above 3, you're going to get above most of Grixis's kill. Like, Prowling Serpapard's probably great. I do want Authority here. I'll run it like this. I'll run with one authority, but I actually think that authority is going to be terrific. He needs to play things like his glint sleeve siphoners. He needs to be able to play his whirler virtuosos. He needs to be able to make thopters. All of these things are going to produce, life for us. They're going to come in tapped. It's going to be very handy. We're going to be very aggressive. He's going to be trying to put down blockers. He's going to get value out of trying to put in a creature that's bigger than ours and it's going to block. And being able to shut him off of one turn of blocking is actually the real plan behind authority. We cannot keep this hand, so we're going to mulligan. This is better. We don't have any green mana, which is actually horrible. But, I mean, there we go. We'll leave that on top and roll with it. Just no one drops is kind of horrible. Right. I think the best plan against Grixis here was actually authority and the heroic interventions. I really do. I think that was the sideboarding that I should have made. I shouldn't have tried to argue with chat. Chat's got a lot of ideas going on. Half of chat's like, why didn't you leave in the authority? The other's going to be, why did you take that? Why did you bring that in? But I think that the authority was probably the right call. Just having chances at getting it, growing was the plan. Here we go. I mean, we're just going to keep slamming the threats. He has to answer this right now, which means he can't add more to the board. Yeah, he can't let us untap with this, so we actually stall him out of a whole turn. And now we get stalled out of our turn. No! The mana. Oh no. Not like this. What? No, we don't want that. It's the wrong one. We want this one. The screw. Nicol Bolas. Well, any land's going to allow us to play this, so I'm not getting rid of it. Any land's going to allow us to play this, so I'm not getting rid of it. We need a green land to make this work, so we'll get rid of that. Sorry for the late response. No punt. What punt? What punt did I make? What punt did I make? I don't know. So we play War Leader. You think maybe I should have gotten rid of the Regal Caracal? Slowing this matchup down is the main plan. I think so. I think that getting as many 2-for-1s, just anything that buys us a little bit more time to run him out of cards, to allow us to keep drawing cards. That's 100% where we want to be. I mean, he's still got 4 cards in hand. He's still playing lands. Hard to beat these decks when they're doing that. And he's still getting in here. No fear. So we'll attack, make some dudes, gain a little bit of life. I think I wait one more turn before I actually play a Ajani Adversary's Tyrant here. Okay, he's just going to kill that. So, because I think Ajani's going to die, I may just play Ajani and down tick him and just use him to give me the Pride Mate back. I mean, upticking's not bad either. There's the authority. Many turns too late. So yeah, I think if I down tick right here, grab the Pride Mate, attack. We'll get some counters here. Now each creature is going to trigger a separate trigger on the Pride Mate. So instantly when we attack, we're going to just jump up to, you know, a 4-power dude. And, you know, that's going to be handy. I mean, just growing here is going to be absolutely terrific. If we get this Regal Caracal down, we'll be able to start punching in for a ton of damage. If we don't hit the Regal Caracal this turn, then, you know, we're looking at, you know, playing Authority, which will help. Ajani just bought us a little bit of time. Oh, goodness. What is this? Torrential Gearhulk. That's going to deal with the Pride Mate. And that's going to wrap up this game. Grixis taking down the cats. Yeah, just didn't get the lands. I mean, I could play the Ajani. I could plus. We could block these two, or we could block this one. Let this come through. Nicol Bolas, like, he kills Ajani. We get another draw. With that draw, maybe we can get a cat in. Survive one more turn. No point in scooping yet, I guess. Maybe it's a little too early to scoop. So we'll just plus, and then depending on how he swings, we'll protect Ajani, or we'll let Ajani go. How do you get behind large guys? Well, when they come in tapped and they can't block, then it's pretty easy to get behind them. Ouch. Ouch, opponent. Ouch. Yep, we're dead, ladies and gentlemen. We are dead. Getting in there, though. Fearless. Yeah, we're dead. Yeah, opponent plays Grixis. He's a meanie butt. Grixis is a good deck, guys. It's a really good deck. Yeah, that's cats, guys. Sometimes you just have these amazing curves, things like this, and yeah, these cats are about to use up one of their 9 lives. I think they just did against Grixis there. Grixis is a mean deck. Definitely in the, you know, the contingents for our contingency for being top decks in Standard right now. I mean, the Hazard decks, the Vine Mayor, Steel Leaf Champion decks, and then of course you've got the must be one heck of a Destiny hand. But I think this hand is just, I think it's too weak. And then that didn't get any better. I'm going to keep this. We're just going to go for the Ajani plan. Is this zombies? It's got to be zombies. Turn 1. Yeah. Right now we are. That was our first match. We got hammered, just absolutely destroyed in our first match there. Lost. You know, we're 0-2 right now. 0-2. Just lost the first 2 games of the first match. Even the sideboard didn't work really well for us. We needed to stall that game out a lot longer and start going wide so that we started producing more things than they could actually answer. As much as I want to have that second green source, I actually think I'm just going to be cycling this land. Like I think we just cycle the land here after we take a huge hit. Probably next turn we're going to have to Thopter Arrest the Scrap Heap Scrounger just to be able to deal with it. We're going to see. Graveyard Marshal. I mean, yeah, he's laying down the heat. Okay, so these are all really decent. So this will be a good 4 mana play both of these together, Leon and Vanguard and Radiant Destiny, later, I think. I think for right now, I do just need to, stave off some of the damage that I'm taking. And I think the best way to do that is actually to just get rid of the Scrap Heap Scrounger. I know it can't block, but it's also something that I'm not willing to start, jumping in front of. Now, next turn when we get to start bringing down our Leon and Bone Picker, we'll have to outgain Bone Picker in life, which is going to be actually difficult. I mean, Bone Picker is going to trade with our War Leader, but we do get another War Leader. So if he has one of his like 4 removal spells, we're just dead here. And I think that's just because like this is just not going to do enough for us. There it is. He doesn't run many removal spells. The fact that he had one is pretty good. But also the fact that he had one means that he has lethal on the board. And it looks like he wasn't going to swing for lethal, which upsets me. Authority of the Consuls. I'm telling you guys, like, it's really good in cat decks. It's kind of where you want to be. Radiant Destiny is going to be, great. We're going to be fighting against, a lot of anthems here. Radiant Destiny is one that I do want to use, but Radiant Destiny doesn't really do enough. I think I'm wanting Settle the Wreckage, and then I think I just want to set up for blocks against our opponent. So I'm actually going to take the Radiant Destinies out. Maybe we'll leave in one. And then just kind of cut, I don't want to cut a Caracal, maybe a Pride Sovereign. Yeah, maybe 2 Pride Sovereigns. Maybe we'll cut like that. Pride Sovereign's really good, and it might have actually been Leonin, War Leader. We're drawing a lot of him. He's, we're playing just 1 spell those turns. They're spending 1 spell to remove him. So maybe Leonin War Leader would be, I need to start like upping that on my cut. But maybe we should be cutting the War Leader here. Alright, so this will be a decent hand. We get to start out with the Vanguard on turn 1 if we don't play the Cycling Land. We can always play the Cycling Land on 3. So I think we're gonna go with the Vanguard. We're gonna try to get to cruising in here. Now if he drops a 2/2 here, there's not much we can do about it. We'll get to swing past it the first time. Diregraph Ghoul, but then after that, if it doesn't tap, then we're not going anywhere. I mean, we could set up to trade our Adorned Pouncer for it. Yeah, it looks like turn 3 we're going to play our Scattergrove so that turn 4 we're untapped, and then we'll just go from there. I mean, if we can get our life linkers to working, we might be able to beat this zombies deck. Mono black is apparently the way to go with the zombies. Yeah, it 100%. Like if you watched my blue black zombies deck, you're going to see we actually had 2 games out of the few games that I ran that were legit like just bombs because of lands. Like it's very rare that you would have all 3 of your drowned catacombs. But we had all 3 drowned catacombs in one game, which is, that every time you add a little bit more to the deck in those type of situations, you're actually just making the deck weaker. I mean, when you're just playing swamps, you're smooth. Every land's coming in untapped as long as you have, like, the only thing the deck has to worry about at that point is just getting land. Now, when you start adding multiple lands in and stuff, then you're adding this extra element of instability, I guess, unstableness to your deck, and like that unstableness is just you don't have land. You don't have land. You can't cast your spells. Your spell may be the greatest spell in all of history on the turn that you play it. However, it may be absolutely horrible if you play it a turn late. So just having the proper land to play your spells is absolutely absolutely necessary. I don't think we can swing here. I mean, I think we sit back and block. We're setting up for a really powerful swing next turn, though. I mean, we do need to like top deck a land. If we don't top deck a land, we're probably just going to pass. I'm kind of curious at how he swings in. So, I mean, I'm willing to take the 7 points of damage here. So we're looking at 7, 8, 9. 9 points of damage. Praying for a... He didn't pump. He did not pump. Don't have a mare. Fatal push. Well, look at you. Come on, land off the top. It's not a land. It wasn't a land at all. So we're going to trigger the Pride Mate. Probably just going to put the cat in front of the shade here, or the Sacred Cat, Mr. Roadblock himself. And then, of course, you know, start getting in with our double striker. Gaining lifelink will be phenomenal. And another fatal push. He's got 0 cards in hand, though. Getting down this Regal could be everything we need. So, if he doesn't use the shade here... Come on, Regal Caracal. So he's sacking the If Near Deadlands to kill probably this. Yep. Alright, well. We're just gonna swing for 2 and pass the turn. He's got 0 cards in hand. I just want to be done with what we're dealing with on the battlefield, and so I'm just not going to block. He pumps. He pumps. I settle. He's mad. Oh, he's mad. You want black goblins? Man. When's the last time we had black goblins? Lorwyn? When did we have black goblins? We had black elves. Black elves and black goblins. Okay. Now it's time to turn this game around, ladies and gentlemen. Time to turn it around. And he scoops it up. Okay. I think we did right by our... I mean, Reclamation Sage might be good, being able to kill some of his dudes. He might have Hearts of Kiran. I wouldn't put it past him to actually have Hearts of Kiran. Or Heart of Kirans. So, Lorwyn block. Was it Festering Goblin, Lorwyn block? Black Goblins, yeah. You guys, you remember all things. The community of chat itself, the collection of chat. You guys are like a hive mind. Way to stay in that one, right? Thanks, Baxter. I appreciate it, buddy. On the draw, do we want to do anything different? Like, I think we just kind of have to rely on our Settle the Wreckages. Looks like this guy's got a few more fatal pushes than I'm normally expecting. Authority does seem really good, though. I kind of want more Radiant Destiny. I think I'm going to take out a Raid Leader or a War Leader for one more Destiny. I think that's right. Like, I don't think I'm supposed to leave in 4 of my 4 drops. Like, the deck is kind of like low to the ground. We need to, kind of maintain that. Well, we need a good creature off the top. But we've got decent lands here. We've got a decent start. We need a 3rd land, and we need a creature in the first 3 draws. So, okay, so now we just need a 3rd land. I mean, this does have to survive, but, I mean, if he fatal pushes this, then, which it looks like he's about to. No fatal push. Sweet. Well, this is a hand, right? Well, we do need some land. This is going to be difficult. Like, he basically gets to trade that against one thing. Like, whatever he wants to trade it against, he gets to trade it against. Or trade it for. Does he have another one here? I mean, is that what you do? Like, do you have to have a second one before you swing with the first? We need a land, and that was it. That was it. So now we can actually just start waiting a couple turns. Let our Pride Mate grow. If we get one more land, we're going to start playing, our Adversary of Tyrants. At that point, we'll be growing quite large. The field's going to grow quite large here soon anyway. At this point, he's facing down some pretty big guys that he kind of has to answer. We're not really worried about the Dreadshade right now. I'm definitely willing to wait a couple more turns on the Dreadshade. I just think that it won't be very long and we'll be able to just stop the Dreadshade from doing anything just by producing more cats. Oh, that's nice. Okay, so I definitely think I want to I guess we just pick these two. We gain the life, we get the extra counter from Ajani, or Ajani's Pride Mate. So we have some really big dudes. We just need one more land to be able to start turning things sideways. Like, I actually think that he needs to... Oh man, one more land means the Caracals come down. We get out of hand. Does he swing with everything right here at Ajani? Crewfix? Is Crewfix in chat? No way. Is Crewfix there? Crewfix is there! What's up, Crewfix? How you doing, man? Long time no see. What's up, sir? Crewfix was our first moderator. He was the first channel moderator. Cool guy. Welcome back, Crewfix. Alright, so at me. Block the shade. Now he fatal pushes stuff. Another shade. Graveyard Marshal. Okay, so this definitely becomes one of those turns where we're going to put +1/+1 counters on things. I'm going to swing here. Now, we do have to exert Pride Sovereign to be able to do this. I mean, he can get in front of it right here. He can put both of these in front, and we'll just kill them both. And I'm willing to make that trade right now. So how do we do this? We need one more turn before this is big enough to start blocking the Gifted Aetherborns. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think we have to do a lot of blocking here. Alright, well, we get a couple more life linkers. So these two block the two Dread Shades. He blocks the Grave Warden. We'll have a huge Pride Mate. Like, how do we get through this? Like, we have to have the first strikers become 3/3 or 3 power so that they can start jumping in front. But we also need another land, or we're just kind of dead in the water anyway. Alright, well, we moved to blocks. Block, block. Gain some more counters. This guy's huge. Adorn Pouncer, that's not bad. I think we have to Adorn Pouncer here and uptick. Like, I really want to be able to get these guys to 3 power, but it looks like we're actually just sacrificing one of these. At least we can now stop damage coming from a Gifted Aetherborn. And he has to put a threat towards Ajani now. He can't forget about Ajani forever now. So if he does just go straight for our life total here, which by the looks of it, that's the plan. So we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're dead either way, aren't we? Or do we have to lose something? So we block, we block, we block. We're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Well, I definitely want to kill things if I'm blocking. I don't think we even have that opportunity, do we? So we block here, we block here, we block here. Pass. So now he has to use his mana to actually pump his shades in order to exchange. I mean, he's got to put 4 mana into this shade just to make the exchange. He has to put at least 1 more. Well, this is going to trade either way, so he doesn't have to put anything into this. If he puts 2 in, it survives, but then this one doesn't. So either way, we get one of the shades. He doesn't have the mana to save both shades. Man, we just need a land. Didn't Bolus make the gods an Amonkhet? No. He he sealed 3 of them away, and then he altered the others' minds so that they would be doing his bidding while he was gone. Okay. Big enough to trade? Do we go big enough to survive? Just big enough to trade. Fatal push. Nope. Wants to survive. Okay. Come on, land. Land. I'm going to ultimate Ajani. I'm going to play Ajani. I'm going to return Ajani's Pride Mate. And then I'm going to pass. And we're going to try to ride this Ajani Ultimate to a victory here. Here we go. 3 life linking cats. Let's do this. Ajani Ultimate. How many lands are in this deck? I think 25. Yeah, we've got 23 lands in this deck, actually. Heart of Kieran. What a thing. That's going to be a pain. That is going to be a pain. Come on, land. We need to give all of our dudes lifelink. No swings from the opponent. Ooh. That's a thing. So we definitely get rid of the flyer here. So I was right. There were Heart of Kieran's in this deck. We'll play an Authority. We'll play +1/1 counter here. And then we'll, I guess, give +1/1 counter there. And we'll pass. He taps 3 mana. He's going to make a zombie. It enters the battlefield tapped. We gain a life. That's pretty cool. Ajani's Pride Mate gets a little bit bigger. We get a lot more dudes. Gifted Aetherborn. We gain another life. Ajani's Pride Mate gets even larger. This Ajani emblem may be what we needed, fellas. Like, the opponent failing to attack Ajani could be it. Like, can we just swing out? Then he's like Doomfall and we're dead, right? Let's go with some more counters. We're gonna make some of these dudes a little larger. I'm gonna start getting in with a couple. Should I? Is it even worth it? Like, just trade 1 for making Pride Mate bigger? I think we can swing with 3 at this point. I mean, just gaining the life is going to be beneficial. Sweet. I mean, yeah, he gains life too, but growing the Ajani's Pride Mate is my priority here. Yes. And yes. I mean, we may get to a point where we like ultimate Ajani again. Pride Mate, 10-10. Okay, I mean, oh, we got there finally. Regal Caracal. Um, I don't think we swing. Maybe we do. Let's swing with the threes. I mean, what does he put in front of it? A zombie, death touch dude, something like that? I mean, we're just trying to get to the point where we. So of course he blocks here. He eats one, and then what else does he? Does he just take the three? Graveyard Marshal's done. Used one Graveyard Marshal to eat the other. Yeah, Shade grows. I'm okay with that. Like, I don't think we need to be making this any larger. We need to find a way to deal with these gifted Aetherborns. I mean, we're to the point now where we can. The opponent said, "Good game, good work." That's exactly what he said. He said, "Good game, good work." I said, "Thanks." Apparently, the surviving and getting the Ajani emblem out was going to be enough. That we were going to start being able to chip in the initial like we were going to have to wait a couple turns, but he couldn't produce enough per turn to be able to fight us. So Bantu's Last Reckoning, yeah, that would have been pretty devastating. No lie, Bantu's Last Reckoning would have been pretty devastating. We were to the point where we were going to be able to turn sideways here soon and just wreak all kinds of havoc. Gaining 14, 15 life just off of Pride Mate. Something that I do want to point out here that if you swing with an Adorned Pouncer that has lifelink and the Pride Mate before normal damage, you're going to get an extra +1/+1 counter because first strike damage is going to contact, and we're going to make that have that lifelink there on first strike damage. You'll get a trigger on your Pride Mate before second damage or normal damage, and then so Pride Mate will grow a little bit if you're swinging with a life linking Adorned Pouncer. So yeah, that was Ajani's Last Reckoning. There you go. All right, guys, let's get into one more here. Let's see what else this deck has. Shimmerlize. Well, man, I can't say that. Shimmerlize. What's up, Lee? How you doing, sir? Way to go, Lee. Nice to see you. Well, thanks, Lee. Good to see you too, sir. We won because of a punt. What do you mean we won because of a punt? What was the punt? What was the punt, Alba? See, I actually almost made that plan where we swing out and see if he just takes it because he had a huge life total, and then maybe he would swing into us. Um, yeah, tyranny didn't prevail this time. Does anyone think Johnny's Last Stand will see heavy play post-rotation? Man, I honestly need to see what a Johnny's Last Stand is. Ajani's Last Stand says, where's it at? Wow, there's been a lot of printings of the Pride Mate. I keep saying Pride Mate. It's not the only thing I mispronounce, guys. It's not the only thing. Oh my goodness. Come on, Magic. Trying to say a username, right? Hey, Tondo. See, there's another one. Where is his last stand? How about Ajani's? Hey, we got an opponent. Are we keeping this hand? Turn 1, turn 2, another turn 1, turn 3, 2 lands. This thing again, this 4-mana creature. I think we keep it anyway. I mean, we have to pay a little life. We can turn like Sacred Cat on, start gaining that back. Hold up with the Leon and Vanguard, play it after the Pride Mate. Ooh, red deck. That's mean. Well, that ain't horrible. We can gain 2 life next turn, but if we don't hit a land by... No, we can't. We cannot. I think we just play the cat. No magma spray here, dude. No magma spray. Alright, so there it is. Ajani's Last Stand. Whenever a creature or planeswalker you control dies, you may sacrifice Ajani's Last Stand. If you do, create a 4/4 white avatar creature token with flying. Whenever a spell or ability an opponent controls causes you to discard a card, if you control a planes, create a 1/1 white avatar creature token. So you have to have a planes, and you have to discard this card. It's not discard any card. So I mean that's kind of narrow. Like look at the art. It's Ajani versus Bolas. Like, so if you're playing against Bolas, it's probably going to be handy. But if you're not playing against Bolas, I don't know. I don't know how much I would like the card. Cody Killy, what's up, man? How you doing? Wee, that's right. This deck needs 2 more land. I think so. I think there's a couple cards this deck needs to cut. I don't think we need 4 Leonin War Leaders. I think it's a little much on the curve. Believe it or not, 4 Regal Caracals may be a little too much on the curve. Might just be a 3 of right there. I would love to just, trim the converted mana cost of this deck overall by a bit. I think that Radiant Destiny as a 4 of might be a little much. Well, we're not getting turn 3 Goblin Chain Whirlard. We'll have to pay 2 life to activate this. But then again, we're not activating it anyway. So next turn we get to play the Pride Mate. And then we'll just have it grow out of... I mean, if we hit a land, we're going to play Pride Mate and Leon and Vanguard. And we'll have a 5/5 Pride Mate by the end of turn. It's going to be great. If we don't hit a land, we'll have like a 4/4. And we'll lose a cat. On Crop Crasher. Exert. Because the joke's on you. I wasn't going to block anyway. No exerts. No exerts. No joke on him. He knew I wasn't blocking. He knew I was setting up. He's like, this dude ain't trading those creatures. Well, this does kind of work out for us. I mean, we gain a little bit of life back here. Pride Mate's going to grow kind of out of control. Alright, so we get our first trigger on the Pride Mate. And this will get us to a 3. Then when we swing with the cat, it'll get us to a 4. So this will help. Alright, so 1 on the Pride Mate. if he's going to make us not be able to block here, like, do we want to just like kill this? Like block? Well, we wouldn't be able to, would we? Our opponent's holding us in the beginning of our combat for some weird reason. Dane Lawson says, anyone working on a gutter snipe deck? Albatross says, Dane Lawson, I'm working on a few goblin / burn list. My recommendation is check out our Reddit. There should be a link in the description box. I think I just keep a Reddit link down there. Check out the Reddit. There's always some people throwing up some pretty cool decks over there. If you want to get in on posting your decks and stuff like that for our Reddit, you can. We run those decks. Sometimes we do themed weeks for our subscriber Sunday, but I'll pick 3 decks every subscriber Sunday, either that fit the theme that has been laid out or just the top voted from the past week. So it's kind of like a running like 7 to 14 day period. I'll just pick something that has been played in the last couple days and has been good. This doesn't block here anyway because next turn it's just going to be a 1/1. So I think I swing with it here. Just go ahead and get in the couple points of damage. He's going to exert to stop the Pride Mate because Pride Mate's just going to be able to like block anything. So I mean that's going to happen. But Pride Mate's going to be like a 4/4 here. We're out of the neighborhood of like Glorybringer or something for a turn, which means we'll probably get through yet another turn. Like being able to get the Leon and Vanguard down means that we're about to start pushing a ton of damage. Just being bottlenecked on land hurts, man. But yeah, definitely check out the Reddit. There's always people posting their decks over there. Vote on decks, you know that you want to see, and maybe they'll get seen and maybe they'll get played. That's how we pick. The community votes on what they want to see for Subscriber Sunday. I pick the highest voted decks and we play them. You got people like Rush who trade. He'll upvote your deck if you upvote his. All kinds of things. Like I don't even try to control the masses. Like if you guys are going to find loopholes and do things, then you're gonna do it. Yeah, it's too much to try to control all of that. I just look at the votes. I know the things you can do on Reddit. I know what some people can and can't do, and I'm just not worried about it. You love the mono red gutter snipe. You love mono red gutter snipe with tons of burns. Some via Shiro pyromancers, some bane fires, lightning strikes, shocks, etc. Seems good. Our opponent is like really just burning the clock out. Burn seems okay post rotation. Unless you end up with one of these like lifelink decks floating around. There's a couple lifelink decks using the Crested Sunmares and using the new like Shielded Mare. Shielded Mare is so good, guys. Like the new horses they're legit. I'm not lying. The new horses are really legit. You want to see a revamped version of Jun Reanimator in Standard with a new card, Stitcher Supplier. Stitcher Supplier would be a good card to fill up the graveyard for something like Liliana. Eldest Reborn is really good in those style decks. I really don't know what else you do for as far as a Reanimator deck goes. I mean, he has to make this like unblockable, right? Yeah, he exerts. He has to now. And then we gain 3 life next turn. And hit him for $500,000, $1 million, $250,000. Hit him for a bunch. We hit him. We're going to hit him for a bunch. Everybody called you insane for thinking Vinemare was good. Well, who's laughing now? Right? You're right. You're right. Who's laughing now? Oh man, he should have hung on to that. It would have been a good trick. It would have been a really good trick. Don't have another one though. I don't want to see another trick. You've been tricky enough. I definitely think I've got to lean back on playing permanents here though. Or swinging with my permanents. I've got to be able to block. I've got to stave off this damage. Built to smash. Great card. Instant speed, +3/+3. If it's an artifact, it also gets trample. Seems good. Jank MTG, long time no see, buddy. How you doing? They tricked everybody. It's only an uncommon. Well, they've done that in the past couple sets. There's been a few uncommons that were just like broken good. And I think it was I forget who it was I was listening to the other day, but some of the guys were on YouTube that do podcasts and stuff. I listen to a lot of podcasts, so I can't remember exactly which one it was, but they were talking about I think it was Marshall Cycliffe and the limited resources. They were talking about the quality of playable rares and playable uncommons and things like that. And they were talking about how there were like, I want to say it was like between 15 and 20 like non-playable cards. Like you just could not play the rares, but yet there were a ton of uncommons. And then they went back and looked at Dominaria, and there were so many more playable uncommons in Dominaria than they are even in M19. And yeah, I think it was the Limited Resources podcast by Marshall Cycliffe. They were talking about all of the different rares and stuff in M19. If you guys haven't listened to that, I highly recommend checking out Marshall Cycliffe. If you listen to any kind of like pro Magic, you know who Marshall Cycliffe is. He does a podcast called Limited Resources. Not really a good visual spoiler, but or not really good for the visuals, but it's a really really good podcast for. Wow, we get to gain a little extra life here. If I play this, this gets even bigger. If I play this, then next turn, I don't know, this is a pretty big dude too. I think this is the right route, and then next turn we can play Leon and Vanguard. I mean, this just gives us another really big body. No swings here. I mean, just slowly getting our resources up is kind of where we want to be. I think I can get in for 5 this turn, though. I mean, it seems risky. This is not going to untap. He's only got a few dudes left. We've got a 5 power guy back. We've got a life linker we can hold back. I think we can actually start getting in for 5 a turn here and see if we can whittle this clock down a little bit. Yeah, we're stuck on lands, but, what else can you do? Diamond Mare is good, too. Is that the red one? No, Diamond Mare is the artifact, right? Yeah, I've actually seen Diamond Mare in a couple decks. Did you guys see the French Nationals deck? The French Nationals deck was a Tishar deck, using Tishar for combo with Walking Ballista. Awesome combination. I thought it was a really cool deck. Looks like we lose whatever we put in front of either of these guys. So I'm just going to stick my 2 1/1s in front here. So we'll go Lifelinker, this guy. Alright. So next turn we can go Vanguard and bring back a Sacred Cat. If we hit a land, I'm probably just going to play the Radiant Destiny and a Vanguard. Oh, no. So we're actually looking at Sacred Cat, Leon, and Vanguard. No! Why? Why must you have Lightning Strike? Okay, so we can go Adorn Pouncer? That's a first striker. We pay one, gain one, so we stay at 7. Um, he makes this one not be able to block, so then this one blocks here. Yeah. I think this is where we're at. I mean, we swing 7 here. If we stop 3 points of damage, I think I have to swing. And then we're dead to removal? We're dead to a burn spell? Seems bad, right? Like just leaving myself dead to a burn spell. But I don't think I really have a lot of opportunities to finish this game out if I don't swing. Because we're going to have to sacrifice both of these dudes next turn, and we don't have the opportunity to bring it back. I need to be lethal on the backswing. So if he doesn't have it, like, my thinking here is that I'm dead either way if he has a burn spell. So we might as well play into him not having a burn spell. So yeah, if he has the burn, then we're dead. Magma spray, shock. Okay, let's game. I mean, he had one card in hand. I wasn't 100% sure what it was. So yeah, Authority's going to be good. Sacred Cat's great. Adorned Pouncer's great. War Leader's a little expensive. Ajani's a little expensive, and that cuts us down a lot. We could probably get in with a Settle the Wreckages. I think that's where we want to be. Although, like, if we get our cats, we're probably going to be doing good there, too. Like, honestly, this configuration feels good. Let's run it like this. Let's see what happens here. Opponent's deck looks like a challenger deck. Maybe. I went 3-2 with the challenger decks. Like, I played all the challenger decks. They were pretty cool. They're on stream if you want to go back and look at them. I think I did some. I did a whole like playlist on that, like initial thoughts of the challenger decks, after effects of the challenger decks. I don't think that this hand beats our opponent. This is closer. We're off a turn unless we have a good cycle here. We need to cycle into an untapped land. Yep, that's it. Okay, opponent. You think I should have kept the 7? Maybe I should have swung here because we know he has shocks. We know he has things like that. He doesn't swing, so he doesn't have the shock. He doesn't have the burn here. And he got stuck on land. Is this a Thopter arrest turn, or is this Scattered Growth so that we get down Ajani's or Ajani at? Oh, I think we go for the Ajani. He scoops. He scoops it up. We just go to the sideboard. Yeah, he had a 1-land hand. Yeah. Oh, you said keep the 6-card hand. Yeah, I agree. I think the 6-card hand was good. On the draw against red deck, I definitely don't think we make many changes. We've already reduced converted mana cost overall. We've brought in our our sweeper or our anti-attack. We've brought in our Thopter arrest. We've got our sacred cats. We left those in. We've got our authorities. I would love to see turn 1 authority. Like, I think this is the right configuration to beat this version of red. So can't have mercy on a red deck. You cannot. Nope. Nope. There's so many games that they're just going to automatically take from you because your deck stumbled. So, yeah. You're not a fan of the felines. There's a... What, you don't like... You don't like kitties? You guys insert whatever word you want right there. What's the matter, Rush? Not a fan? All right. Um, we want that Ajani turn two. Right, we want that Pride Mate on turn two. Absolutely. I mean, being able to get him down, get him to upticking before they get a chance to be able to remove him is going to be absolutely, great. Aggressively mull against red deck for authority in turn. That's actually a strategy. I mean, you can do that. I mean, authority is so strong against those red decks that that's not actually a horrible strategy as long as you don't have to mulligan down too far. Like we're gonna mulligan this for sure. We don't have any lands and we don't have authority, so let's keep it. It's not great. We go to 5. See if we can find a. Oh, why not? I have to keep this, guys. We'll put that on the bottom. I should have kept that 6. 6 was a lot better. The 6 was actually a decent looking hand. But when you aggressively mulligan, you run into these type of things. Like you need to have a true silver bullet there if you're going to aggressively mulligan to it. I guess aggressive would have been like going down to 4. I think giving up a playable 6 just to see it was aggressive. Yeah, it was a bad maul. Absolutely, it was a bad maul. That's the whole next 5 sentences you're about to hear. Me talking about how bad of a mulligan it was. Now watch, we're going to top deck an authority, and it's going to be a great mulligan. And then we're just going to hit land, land, land behind it. Turn 1 authority, go. Oh, that ain't it. But you know what? I'll take it. I mean, we get to get a card. We just start hitting lands. It'll be okay. Oh boy, this ain't going to go well. You might be right. You might be right. It might not go well at all. Could go just fine though. It really could. I mean, we've got removal. We just need to get some lands. Our opponent's not being overwhelmingly, aggressive here. Karizev. We're just going to go ahead and get that down. I mean, this definitely weakens Karizev a little bit here. You like Albatross says, I like a lot of the mechanics in Cats, but not the overall build. Just feel like it's a missing something, but most tribal synergies are in the same boat. Jim Davis was talking about it recently. Which stream was that? I watch a lot of Jim's streams. Jim Davis is one of my favorite streamers. Hey, we got our authority of the consoles. All right, so like if we get into Johnny's Pride Mate, this is going to be very dangerous for him. Like he won't be able to start attack. Like he won't be able to attack with this creature anymore. Just because the net return is going to be horrible for him. Although if I hit a land this turn, I might just stop to arrest it. Wow, is this just a built to smash coming in? We got like a couple built to smash. What we got here? Exiles the tokens. Oh, he thought he was in main phase already. Goblin Chain Whirler. We're dead. You don't remember which stream? I'll check it out. If it was recently, I'll go back and look at some of his. He did an arena stream here not too long ago. I want to check out. Now he can't swing with the Karizev. Getting in there. Right, just to troll with the authority. Yeah, I agree. Now if he tries to swing with Karizev, okay, yeah, he's got a magma spray to clear that up. That's going to clear that up for him. I mean, I don't have the option of Thopter Arrest anyway right now. I mean, if we keep it up, we might actually be able to clock our opponent here. I mean, he's playing red deck. We're about 9 minutes ahead of him, which makes me think the opponent's probably playing, he's probably new to Magic. So, um, and that's kind of the situation. If you're new to Magic, there's only so many, cards you have access to. Building the best deck's a little bit hard. If you're new to playing Magic Online, those type of things, and kind of blows a little bit. Um, but I guess it's a good time for a pitch, right? If you want to play all the decks, maybe you want to play Dev's deck, maybe you want to play the newest Tier 1 deck, maybe you want to play any deck. There's a link in the description box with a coupon code. Our entire community here at SideboardMTG gets a 15% discount when we sign up for or when we use Manatraders. So the first 3 months you sign up, use the coupon code below, and you'll save 15%. Oh, see, this seems good. Yeah, got him. Anyway, I think it's SideboardMTG underscore W5G5. Either way, it's listed below. Check it out in the description box below. For those of you that don't know what Manatraders is, it's the program I use. A um, they're a rental service. You pay a flat rate. Yes, you got to like give a deposit because you're holding their cards, you're using their cards. There has to be something to make sure that they get their money back, and they're smarter than give them a credit card and then you cancel that card. You have their cards. They're smarter than that. So yeah, you do have to give a deposit, but once you've given your deposit, it'll actually pay for your next months in advance. Like, so let's say you were going to sign up for like the $10 package and you had to give, like, I don't know, we'll say a $50 deposit. That would pay for your next 5 months. Closer to 6 months, considering you would save 15% when you sign up. So that'll let you guys know a little bit of how Manatraders works as far as like new customers and things go. So yeah, if you decide that you want to use Manatraders, you want to play with mana like with all the decks, there's a link in the description box below. Go ahead and sign up. Great service. I'm sure you'll love it. I'm just being dead honest. Like, just playing all the decks is great. Shapers is great against red and black and also doesn't tax our mana. Shaper Sanctuary is not that bad. I'm not 100% set on Dev having like the best configuration here. Um, we're almost to the point where I need to arrest this thing, but we're going to hold off just a little bit longer. I'd love to be able to start like upticking Ajani here. I'd love to draw some things that were playable. It feels bad just not making use of my mana here. But I mean, if we can stall out just long enough to actually start playing our cards, getting a little bit bigger dudes, things like that, we're gonna be all right. Ooh, he's got to discard a card here. I don't think I thought to arrest this. He discards Cartouche. So he's gotten rid of a build. He's used a build to smash Cartouche. Getting in at us with Karizev. Yeah, you get some. There you go. Come on, land. Yeah, that mulligan at the beginning, that definitely killed us. I don't think this is a you aggressively mulligan deck. I mean, if I play Ajani, he just dies here, right? I mean, this is the basic gist of it, right? We play this, it plus one's here, and then it just dies. We got 5 on the backswing. This will be 1, 2, 3. I mean, we can use this to block. Block this guy. Johnny lives slightly longer, just long enough for us to down tick it. We just need to top deck a land. I don't know, if Johnny lives one turn, I think we're actually doing pretty good. Like, we need to top deck a land next turn, but I think we're alright if Ajani does make it through this turn. Looks a little bit risky, though. I mean, we block here, he takes 3, any number of burn finishes him. It's probably going to be difficult. I mean, we ain't got to worry about something like On-Crop Crasher coming down out of nowhere, but you can misdirect with Ajani. That's kind of the plan, is like to send his attackers over here, like, hey, come get my Ajani, don't come get my life total. But that actually didn't work out really well for the last guy who tried that. Opponent doesn't have Hazard or Phoenix. If he's the commander or the, yeah, he probably doesn't have Hazard. He probably, like, I've been holding this forever, waiting on a Hazard or a Phoenix. So honestly, I probably should have played this turn instead of the Ajani. Coming at us. Coming at us. Oh man, a land off the top would be sweet, wouldn't it? How far down do we go here? I mean, next turn our Vanguard becomes large enough to start eating Ragavan. We can just deal with this next turn. I think I take it. Pray he doesn't have enough burn to finish me here. I mean, he's hitting Ajani for 2. Oh goodness. He's hitting Ajani for 5. Should have blocked. Should have protected Ajani. That hurt me. That hurt me. That hurt me right there. We need a land. Land off the top that doesn't come in tapped. Untap land. Untap land. Come on, come on, come on, come on. That ain't it. I'm going to go with the Thopter Arrest. We're going to get rid of the 4-3. We didn't get in for a little bit more damage. Next turn, if we don't draw the land, we can play the Adorned Pouncer. And then if we do draw the land, we'll play the Regal Caracal. Okay, so that's a little bit more life. That takes us up to 8. Land! Come on, land! Need that Caracal. Come on, Regal. Grand Warlord Rada. So I think red-black elves is red-green elves is a trap. The main reason I say that is because there's not a lot of ways that you can get a turn 1 green source down in the multicolored lands. Like I mean, it's pretty much forest or zilch. Like there's no red-black fast lands, and that's a problem. So. Alright, so we can settle before this trigger resolves, or we can settle after and save all the damage but yet give him even more lands. Either way, I think I settle here. The question is, do I settle to give him 2 land, or do I settle to give him... I think we're fine giving him a bunch of land. He did stack them so that he gets to put the card under the Bomat Courier before I do this. I don't think he goes for the lethal here. He might have a card to be able to go for a lethal. We'll go for the settle. It just wasn't worth it to actually go to 3 and then have him just like lightning strike us. So I think I have to settle now. Gives him a ton of land, thins his deck out a little bit, but we're still just praying that we hit one land. Tandu! That's what Chesmerize said. A lot of people believe that Wizards has a bit of a bad algorithm. Oh, what did he discard? He discarded another Karizev to get whatever might be under that Bomat Courier. We need land. Into Regal Caracal. We'll be back at 7 life. Tokens have already been exiled. Go figure. Well, I mean, this is not bad, guys. This might actually be everything we need to get back into this. I mean, we're only going to go back to 5 life here. But in doing so, we're going to grow our Pride Mate. And that could be all we need to get the job done. Are we going to actually clock this red deck? Alright, well, I mean, if he plays a creature, it comes in tap, this gets larger. Playing it. Playing the land. Get the counters. We know that he can't come in with a haste creature and block us. It's going to be game. That's all she wrote. Wow, that was close. Man, that was close. Yeah, but we were talking about red-green, and the big one is like what's the point of being in red? Like, you can't do any of the double red creatures, any of the red 3-drops that are double red. So there's no point of being like Land of War Elves into some double red creature because you just can't do it. Like, you can't produce the double red mana on turn 2. So like you're basically stuck in like really heavy green decks if you're wanting to use the Land of War Elves in our current standard, right? Because of the mana. If we had like something that was I forget the name of the red green shock land or something, but if you had a red green like turn 1 land that was untapped, then you would actually have a red source. You would have the opportunity to produce 2 red sources by turn 2. Even if you just played a mountain to follow it up, and then you would have 2 green, 2 red. So personally, I think if you're going to play those Land of War Elf decks and things like that, you need to have a good base of forest in the deck just so that you can get the turn 1 Land of War off. And then you need to have cards like Jade Light Ranger, or you need to make sure any of your off color cards are just 1 pip if they're in the 3 mana slot. Now, if you're in the 4 mana slot, yeah, it gets a little bit tricky to get the the double black, double blue, double red, the other colors by turn. But turn 3 or 4, but on turn 2, where it really matters, that's where the huge payoff for having Land of War Elf is on turn 2. Like getting into that Still Leaf Champion, it's no problem because you have a turn 1 untapped black source or green source. Now, that's what I was saying about if you're going to play the Land of War Elves deck and you were going to try to splash it into another color. I believe that it's going to best splash into blue because you have the blooming. Not blooming marshes. Blossoming sanctuary. Oh my goodness! What are the green blue lands, guys? The fast lands, green blue fast lands. Anyway, you have those botanical sanctums. I think they're botanical sanctums. Anyway, you have botanical sanctums, which turn 1 you can have a blue source, which means that you can actually play a double blue on turn 3. On turn 2, if you just follow that up with another either Botanical Sanctum or even an island. You can have double green, double blue on turn 2. If you go into green black, you have the Blooming Marshes, which allow you to do the same thing. So if you guys are looking into those Land of War Elves decks and you're thinking about splashing into another color, just kind of keep that in mind. That, what's the real point in being in red if what's the real point in being in red if you're not actually going to be casting anything that's red? Like if your whole point is splashing a whole nother color, weakening your mana base is, I want to cast Warlord Rada, Grand Warlord Rada. She's beautiful. They did good. I like the art. I mean, that's a mean looking elf. But personally, you make sure it's worth it to even splash, because you are weakening those decks by not playing all green sources in the whole deck. If you catch yourself having a situation where you've got a Land of War Elf, but for some reason you cannot cast your turn 2 Still Leaf Champion, even though it's in your hand, and you're looking down at your mana base and it's like, well, man, if I hadn't put that colorless land in here, would have been all right. Then you probably shouldn't be running that colorless land. Anything that weakens that one play, which is the play that makes the deck super strong. Now there's some other plays that the deck can make later in the game, Vine Mayors, things like that, that can actually make the game or the deck strong in the late game. But what makes the deck strong in the early game is Land of War Elf into a Still Leaf Champion. So anything that you do to the deck that pulls away from that, it's actually making those decks much weaker. I hope I talked enough about elves there. Yeah, I keep seeing Land of War Elf getting thrown in decks where it's like, this probably shouldn't be here. Land of War, it's one of those bolt the bird situations. You want this early, drawing it late's not going to be really great. So either way, just think about that when you're thinking about building your Land of War Elf decks. Just because you have green doesn't mean that you're a deck that needs Land of War Elf. So just think about that. A little food for thought there. What you guys think about the cat deck overall? Not bad. Not the most competitive deck in the world. Definitely, a strong deck to play with. Personally, I think that there's a couple cuts that need to happen. Regal Caracal, I'm just going to leave that up to y'all. If you want to run 4, you want to run 3. Regal Caracal is just it's a huge bomb. You may only want to run 3 of it, and that's just kind of a curve issue. The War Leader, I think one of these has got to come out just right off the bat. We got to drop one of these. As far as Ajani goes, Ajani's going to be really good in a lot of situations. Being able to give you one of your little dudes back, being able to give you something like a Pride Mate back, could bring it back that turn, and you may have the setup already that it just instantly starts growing. That can be really good. We got to do an Ajani emblem tonight. That was really powerful. I also think that I would probably cut down on Radiant Destiny. I know that we're cutting down on a lot of the lords, but these all work as lords. Ajani is only going to lord 2 cats at a time, but Ajani's actually really good. Ajani's Last Stand needs cut. We're not running Ajani's Last Stand. There's no way that's actually in this deck. No, that's not in this deck. We're not running that. Yeah, we're just not running Ajani's Last Stand. It's not a real card. I mean, it could become a real card against Bolus, but I don't think that's a real card right now. I mean, if the meta just became 100% Grixis Bolus, then yeah, run it. But I don't think that's something we want to see. You'd like to see Watley too. Actually, I would. I actually think that Watley would be better in the sideboard than the Ajani Unyielding. I think there's going to be a ton of situations. There's no way I spelled Watley right. I spelled Watley right. I definitely think that you should probably run Watley over the 6 mana Ajani out of the sideboard. As far as Reclamation Sage goes, I would probably cut a Reclamation Sage for an additional Prowling Serpapard. And then as far as the Heroic Intervention goes, I think the card's cool, but I would just rather have some way to draw cards. Lifecrafter's Bestiary is really good. I'm a huge fan of Lifecrafter's Bestiary. But one of the things you're probably going to want to do is actually like in the control matchups. You don't need as many Anthems. You don't have to get as big. You just need to be able to continue to go wide. One of the things that's really really good in the control decks is just just take out your Radiant Destinies or something like that, because you don't have to get as large. You don't have to worry about being setting blockers back. So the vigilance isn't as worrisome, things like that. So you probably don't need the Radiant Destiny. So you could cut those out, and bring in a card like Lifecrafter's Bestiary or something. If you wanted to run the Shaper's Sanctuary, you could. It's going to be really good against the red-black decks. It's going to be good against the blue-black decks, the blue-black variants that are Grixis, those sort of things. It's even going to be really good against the most of the Grixis decks, which is just targeted one-for-one targeted removal, which I think is going to be awesome. Yeah, absolutely. Green White Watley's ultimate is just game winning. Green White Watley. I've done some tricks with this card in the past, like where you just draw your whole deck, find the Walking Ballista, play it for free, make it infinite. Yeah, I've had some fun with this deck with my Abzan. Or fun with this card with my Abzan deck. Watley's great. I think she's actually going to be a lot more powerful as we get closer to rotation. Now, I'm thinking for the last couple slots here in the sideboard, we're either looking at something along the lines of like Naturalize. Like, I'm not 100% on Reclamation Sage. I like the fact that we're leaving back a creature, but I don't know if that's necessary. Leaving back a creature is fine. We're not going to get a lot out of that creature. We're probably going to trade that creature in for, just whatever. It's not 2 converted mana cost, so we're not going to be able to get it back with Ajani. We don't have any kind of like recursion or anything like that. I just don't know if Reclamation Sage is where I would want to be. But I definitely think that we need some sort of draw engine here in the sideboard, and I would love to have some sort of draw engine in the main board as well. Vivian Reed might be a good card. Ooh, Plummet. Plummet actually, Shesmerize says, Shimmeraz, whatever, says that Plummet might be good. Absolutely. James says Vivian Reed could be an option. Yes, Vivian Reed or Plummet would both fit really well. I'm thinking that you could probably get away with like something like Negate, or not Negate, but Naturalize, or something along those lines here. If you wanted some, a spell to pull a little bit of double duty, you could actually, instead of Plummet, you could go with the Crushing Canopy. Crushing Canopy's fine. It allows you to destroy enchantments or destroy those flyers. Don't take the Thopter Arrest out of this deck, guys. If you do play it, if you play these little decks like this, don't underestimate the Thopter Arrest. A lot of people underestimate the fact that it can pick up an artifact, and artifacts are really, really great. Oath of Ajani main deck. See, that actually doesn't sound really bad. Treasure Map or Key to the City. I don't really see where either of those would just be devastating or everything that we could possibly need. We do have 2 slots in the main board that I'm going to talk a little bit about. Maybe even free up 1 more slot. And I really think this deck just needs some Shalai. And that could actually be again here in the sideboard. Since we did talk about Vivian Reed, I think that the deck does need I think the deck needs some way to deal with things in the air. So for right now, I'm going to put the is it Vivian? Vivian? Nah, I spelled that wrong, right? Is it Reed? Is it Reed Duke? Right? Vivian Reed Duke. If you wanted to bring some of these cards out of the sideboard into the main board, Vivian would fit well. Watley would fit well in the main deck. As far as the sideboard goes, though, or as the main deck goes, I think that the one addition that I would do above most things is probably going to be a Shala. So, how do you spell Shala? I can't remember how you spell how that card's spelled. White. There we go. Ah, there's an AI. Okay. So personally, I think that we do add in a Shala here, or a couple. And if we're going to do that, then we might actually want to come off of one more Warlord, or War Leader. Maybe come off of an Ajani. Maybe even put one of the Ajanis in the sideboard for Watley or something like that. But I really, really think that Shala fits in this deck. For a number of reasons. One, it works as an extra anthem. You're paying 6 mana to have an extra anthem. When it comes to 6 mana anthems, we see that happen with elves. Elves pay 6 mana, uses an elvish clan caller to go get another clan caller. And you just keep making your dudes bigger and bigger. Well, for 6 mana, you can do the exact same thing here with Shala. Voice of Plenty. So it's not like it's an effect that we're not using around the clock anyway. We've got a lot of decks using 6 mana, just pumping everything. So I just think that there's a couple things. You just need a couple ways to you think Ajani does more work than War Leader. I think the War Leader does a lot of work at taxing the Vraska's contempts of our opponent. If we look back, basically ever since Oliver Tomoko won Nationals last year with the, I guess it was back in December when he won Nationals with the blue-black mid-range deck, or blue-black control deck. When Oliver Tomoko won Nationals, like, from that point forward, we have seen just decks full of Vraska's Contempt, and Vraska's Contempt has really just kind of dominated the format, and it's just one of those cards. It's going to be around. It's not rotating out. Like, ever since Ixalan, Vraska's Contempt has just been the card to just shut down everything. Like, you have to play around your opponent's Vraska's Contempts. You have to play into your opponent's Vraska's Contempts. It's just this weird play that it's like, we know the opponent has 4 copies of it. I know the opponent has a copy or 2 in his hand. He probably has a Gear Hulk or something to be able to snap back into it. And you just kind of have to like keep pushing into those Vraska's Contempts. And the more cards that you can put down that force your opponent to actually respond to those Vraska's Contempts, the better off you're going to be. So I think that's I think that something like Shala or Leon and War Leader are both really, really good cards as far as, I'm going to force, that contempt here. I'm going to force it to be here so that it's not going to be able to stop my Regal Caracal. It's not going to be able to stop my Ajani. And then you're just going to have a lot more play just because, that they have to spend it somewhere else. Although I would love to have more cards that were around the neighborhood of 3 mana that could tax a Vraska's Contempt. Now, we really can't say anything at 2 or 1 mana that would tax a Vraska's Contempt, because it would just tax the fatal pushes. But in a lot of decks right now, they can't actually destroy one of their own permanents to be able to trigger a fatal push unless we're getting aggressive, unless we're attacking them. So you could do that. Radiant Destiny, if I was going to make more cuts at this point, it would either be one more War Leader, and then the next cut after that one more War Leader would probably be either a single Regal Caracal or cut down one of the Radiant Destinies. I don't think that I would want to go completely without Radiant Destinies, but I do think that I don't know if I would want to see like multiple copies of it. Yeah, it's really, really good in multiples, but it's also a 3 mana do nothing, and because we're a 23 land deck, there's going to be a lot of situations where we just don't have the opportunity to go, here's 3 mana, then I've got this other mana set over here where I'm going to play these cheap dudes. Like, we just really don't have that kind of time in an aggressive format like we're in right now. So, absolutely, if you are going to cut more things, cut one more Radiant Destiny, maybe one more War Leader, add those at least one more land into the deck. If you only went to 24 lands, and you cut a Regal Caracal and a Radiant Destiny, and you just wanted to put something else into the main board, I would look into Ajani's what's the enchantment that whenever you have a creature enter the battlefield, you get to gain a life. That works really well. It's Ajani's something. We'll look it up. But yeah. let's see. Yeah, Ajani's Welcome. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, you gain a life. So you could like mainboard in Ajani's Welcome, which works really, really good with Ajani's Pridemate, because Ajani's Pridemate will enter the battlefield, trigger the Welcome, get the +1. You'll gain the 1 life, then it'll get the +1/+1 counter just for it playing. So like the moment you play in Ajani's Pridemate, you're instantly having a 3/3 Pridemate. So like you could get away with that if you wanted to put a couple copies of that main board. If you want to keep the converted mana cost low, something like that. Now do remember that if you play something like a Regal Caracal is going to trigger this 3 times, which will then trigger your Johnny's Pridemate 3 times. So like that is going to be huge in and of itself. So there's just a lot of play. There's a lot of really good cards that would work really, really well in these decks. But yeah. Welcome is really bad card. Probably not in the life game deck. I've actually been wishing I could just destroy the card when I'm coming up against those Sunmare decks and Pridemate decks. If you don't have a way to destroy the Pridemate, then Welcome's actually just going to be devastating. Panharmonicon. I think Panharmonicon is going to slip by us. Yeah. I mean, I've got mine. If I ever meet Saffron Olive, I am definitely going to ask him to sign it. Yeah, like Panharmonicon, great card. We all wanted to see more things out of it. Like Saffron Olive feels about Panharmonicon the way I feel about Sunbird's Invocation. It's just one of those cards that could have been amazing. The 1 mana artifact, you're talking about the Fountain of Renewal or Fountain of Regeneration, Fountain of something. The Fountain is really good. And then color independent. Yeah, here we go. Fountain of Renewal. At the beginning of your upkeep, you gain a life. And yeah, actually, this is probably just better than the Welcome, just guaranteeing that 1 life every turn, like with the horses and things. So yeah. Well, guys. Did you have fun with Deb's deck here? Everybody like it? Like, did you like the cats? It's pretty mean, right? We got to do some cool things, man. We ultimated in Ajani. We had some crazy fight outs. Got really low on life. Got back up on life. Yeah. Panharmonicon is a great build around, but it's so bad in this cat deck. Panharmonicon is so bad in many decks because you're spending 4 mana to do nothing that turn. So like playing it on curve is eh. Playing it in the late game is fine because you can play it and then like I don't know, you get to do crazy things like champion wits, stuff like that. A lot of people are liking the Trigger Wizard. Trigger Wizards. Come on, some of you had to watch Magic Rainbows, right? But yeah, if you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch like Wizards Triggered Wizards, right? Great deck. The YouTube channel is Magic Aids. His channel on Magic Online is now like Magic Rainbows, something like that. Anyway, a lot of fun. Very. He took it well, I guess. He took it pretty well. Anyway, it was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun playing this. The creature I was talking about was a wizard that allows whenever another wizard enters the battlefield, they get that Panharmonicon effect. They get double triggers. So every wizard triggers twice. So wizards triggers. Yeah. From what I understand, wizards didn't like his name, and they asked him to change his name, and Magic Rainbows is what he ended up with. Yeah, there's YouTube channels about it. You guys can go watch it if you want to find out more information. I don't know enough to talk about it, but I've always thought the guy put out really good videos, and yeah, I mean, his language is not good for young kids, but let's face it, most of us aren't young kids anyway. I mean, for crying out loud, Magic just authorized, shops that can sell alcohol to sell alcohol. So, like, that's the thing now. They can have alcohol at their shops. I mean, they can do like 21 and older tournaments and things like that, and have like you can literally have a magic shop that does like the late Friday night, you know, adults game or whatever, and you know that would be like drunken magic is a lot of fun. You think you make a lot of punts now? Wait till the games don't matter whether you win or not, and you're just trying to make it like trying to defeat your own brain and not make a mistake. Where that's the only real goal is to make it through the next game, right? The next turn. Like don't just let me make the right plays now, and like we're not even thinking that far ahead. 21-year-old magic. Magic. Right? A 21-year-old magic game. Or 21-year-old plus magic games, you know, so that you know you can drink. But since Wizards has authorized that, yeah, we've got the bourbon nights coming up. I'm going to try to do some Friday night bourbon nights. Friday nights, as most of you guys know, I don't stream anyway. So if I do stream on a Friday night, then it means, you know, I'm hanging out with you guys, and we'll do it here on stream. You know, I am under the impression I have to increase the age restriction to my my stream to like 18 plus if we're going to be drinking and things like that. There's no way I'm going to be able to watch my mouth if we get into bourbon too much. But you know, like shot a punt or something like that. I'll try not to make too many punts. The further we get into it, the better it'll get. Yeah, I'll stay until you guys are like, Eric, get off the computer. Just get off the computer. Quit. Just quit. Saffron Olive, better known as Seth. Let's see. Right, you play the Merfolk Wizards that have Enter the Battlefield triggers. It's pretty good. Yeah. But yeah. Guys, I had a lot of fun with Dev's deck tonight. We've been doing pretty good with Dev's decks the past couple nights. I hope you guys had fun. Could do punt shots. I'd be arguing with chat over whether or not something was a punt. Wrong land, that's a punt. Oh, alright, whatever. We would not make it far. Right? That's almost funny coming from you, James, considering, you know, what you looked up punts to be, right? Apparently in Magic, like, not everyone calls things punts. Anyway, had a lot of fun, guys. Poor Jim Davis piloted a red-white auras deck to a 0-5. I've never done a 0-5. I've never had a 0-5. When I go 0-3, I drop. Ha ha ha. No. Yeah, I don't know. Like, maybe if you were practicing, but I can see Jim doing it for, like, a donation plus. I have given that some thought. Like, so if you guys are interested in that, Jim's got a pretty good layout. I think it's $50. He'll run a league. He'll run whatever deck you want in a league. It's a bonus league, and then it's like $10 donations. He'll do a deck. He'll pull your deck up on stream and things like that. I have thought about doing some just more streams where we're just, you know, talking about Magic, playing Magic, you know, long streams where you guys want to like just kind of stop in for a little bit, talk about Magic's fine. You want to like kind of move on with your day, you can do that or something like that. So, yeah. Right, it was something to do with boats. I don't remember what it was, but yeah. But yeah, I want to do some like midday streams or something like that where we can just kind of talk and stuff. And you know, during those times, if you know you guys want me to you know do some stuff, we can do some like donation bonuses. I want to find more ways that I can give back to you guys that are like killing the stream boss. Like yeah, it's cool that we've got the little boss effect down there, but you know I just want to find another way to just say thank you for all those that are donating and things like that. It really does help, guys. So I do appreciate it. Yeah, Poopy, you missed it, man. What's up, dude? Late to the party. The Cats deck went 2-3 or 2-1. Not bad. It was pretty good. There'd be a couple changes I would make, not many, but overall the deck played pretty well. Ajani was a hoss. Ajani's Pride Mate was awesome too. Basically, if it says Ajani, it's probably a good card. Just put it in the deck and go with it. But yeah, guys, I had a lot of fun. Hope you had fun. We're going to see you next time here on Sideboard MTG. Remember, if you like tonight's show, make sure that you give it that thumbs up. If you want to play this deck or any other, links in the description box along with a coupon to save yourself 15% on your first 3 months of Manatraders when you sign up. Allows you to play all the decks in Standard or in Modern, Legacy, Vintage. I mean, we can even play Vintage if we want. Yeah. Anything else? Did I miss anything? YouTube stuff, like, subscribe, notification bells. We're going to be doing a lot of stuff. As always, you know, we've got the stream back up. We're doing things. We'll see you next time, guys. Hope you had a good one.